Tons of big news in WWE. Today, we're going to talk about it all in the video. If you guys want more videos like this, go ahead and click subscribe. We're going to kick things off with Oney Lorcan. Now, last week, I made a video about Oney Lorcan, a.k.a. Biff Busick, coming back to WWE as a guest coach in the Performance Center. Now, it's been revealed that he is working full-time in the WWE as a coach in the Performance Center. And this is exactly what I was hoping for, right? You want experienced people who understand the WWE system, who've been in WWE before, who also understand independent wrestling, a true veteran to the craft. You want them coaching your talent, especially in NXT. You're bringing in people with no experience or very little experience. You want them to learn the WWE way. The best way to do so is by having somebody teach them the WWE formula. Oney Lorcan was a absolutely great talent for WWE, but you got to look at it from the perspective of, characters and priorities. And as much as I like Oney Lorcan, it's not a situation where you could bring Oney Lorcan as a world champion over Roman Reigns, right? Like there's just everybody has a role in wrestling. You got to fulfill your role. Oney Lorcan obviously had a great tag team with Danny Burch. I would love to see them on the main roster together, especially when you look at Brawling Brutes and Imperium and the Usos and this really good tag team division. But it makes more sense for Oney Lorcan to be a coach in the Performance Center. And honestly, I give WWE credits here because I think they deserve credit here. There was people that they released that they didn't necessarily have to release. They just had to find a different role for them in the company. Now with Stephanie, Triple H, and Nick Khan running things, this is a great thing. Shawn Michaels, he's also got his work cut out for him in NXT. So you bring in a guy like Oney Lorcan. This is just fantastic news. Very simple stuff. And can't wait to see what happens next. Speaking of NXT, there's a lot of debuts that are set to happen soon. WWE has already began to go through the process of trademarking names and giving names out to new wrestlers. For example, Valerie Lareta. She's the former Bellator fighter who had her tryout with WWE and got signed to WWE. She revealed on Twitter that she got her wrestling name. And now, obviously, a lot of people are talking about who may be debuting soon. She is expected to debut soon. There's also quite a few other talent that are expected to debut soon as WWE goes and moves these people up to the main roster. So not only will WWE have a lot of main roster debuts very, very soon, Carmelo Hayes is one that's also being talked about. You're also going to see a lot of fresh new talent on NXT. So this is why it's important to have people like Oney Lorcan as a Performance Center coach, because you're going to have a lot of talent learn from Oney Lorcan. And this is going to keep the NXT product fresh with new talent on a regular basis. So Dave Meltzer also wrote that a lot of wrestlers in developmental were given new names this week. So the plan is to debut them on television shortly because that's usually how things are. And that is very correct. When WWE starts handing out names, WWE at this point has already started to plan the vision for that particular wrestler when they're ready to make it onto TV. And I'm excited. Honestly, I know a lot of people are kind of up in the air right now when it comes to NXT and the changes that are happening to NXT, but it's developmental. And it's always been developmental. And I can't stress this enough because I see the comments. Go back and watch NXT in 2013, 2012, 2014. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch when Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens came to NXT. Go watch it when Hideo Itami came to NXT. It was still a very much a developmental brand. That is what NXT is today. Okay? You are going to have some really good people who belong there. And honestly, you're going to have some people who just aren't good enough and they're not going to belong there. The only difference from 2022 and 2014 is instead of it being on the WWE network, it's on WWE television. I'm hoping Shawn Michaels gets away, figures out a way to figure this out to make it appealing to all audiences. And I think they will get there eventually, but it's not an overnight change. And, maybe I'm wrong. I said Triple H couldn't change WWE's main roster overnight, and he did. But I don't think that's going to be the case with Shawn Michaels. But nonetheless, more debuts for NXT, which leads to more main roster debuts. Obviously, we're waiting for Legado del Fantasma. We're waiting to see what happens there. So we'll see. But I'm excited about it. I feel like this is a good change for WWE, a constant flow of new characters, new storylines, new people. It's freshness. That's what NXT needs because I feel like 2020, 2021, the NXT product got really stale. And yeah, I think Triple H understands what the vision is. I think this is a good thing for WWE, and it's exciting. However, we do got to speak about some sad news. Yeah, some sad news. Nigel McGuinness has been released by the WWE. PW Insider dropped the report. It's also been confirmed by multiple other sources. Nigel McGuinness, obviously one of the commentators. We know he was from NXT UK. We saw him on a variety of other platforms in WWE, also NXT Level Up. Now Nigel McGuinness has been released from the company, and there's really not much information here as to whether or not why he was released. Obviously WWE has NXT Europe. So is this a situation where, hey, you know what? Like, we already have a plan for the main roster. We already have a plan for NXT, but we do want you back when we launch NXT Europe. Is this a situation like that? Or is this a situation where Triple H and WWE are no longer interested in the work of Nigel McGuinness? Now, personally speaking, I would have loved to seen Nigel McGuinness on the main roster. And it's tough because WWE is doing two-man commentary teams again. If you missed my last video, check it out because I talk about the new commentary team that WWE has introduced. I feel like Nigel McGuinness would have been perfect literally in any situation. Is this a scenario where maybe Nigel McGuinness is, not going to be in the States? He's not going to be able to travel for the main roster schedule. Like, we don't know a lot of details, and I think a lot of people are jumping the gun, blaming Triple H and blaming WWE here, and I can understand why that's the case, because WWE historically, when releasing talent, it's just kind of been whatever, but I feel like this is a situation where I feel like there might be more to it. So I am a little bit bothered or disappointed by the news, because personally I thought his commentary was great. I thought he was a great asset to WWE. I know a lot of people are also immediately talking about the idea of Nigel McGuinness going to like AEW or Ring of Honor, and I genuinely just hope that's not the case, because I really like his work. I feel like he fits really well with WWE. I feel like when WWE launches NXT Europe, that's probably going to be his landing spot, but also it doesn't make sense for WWE to pay him for all of these months. So it's just really, really tough. Honestly, it's really, really tough. It's kind of sad. It kind of sucks because I really like the guy and I thought he was really good in WWE, but I don't want to see him in AEW. I don't want to see him in Ring of Honor. I think they already have a good commentary team over there. I don't think you should switch things up just because he's an available free agent. But also at the same time, too, if the guy needs work, I'm not saying don't hire him, obviously. So it just kind of sucks, man. I like Nigel McGuinness, but he's been released by the company. And, Jimmy Smith, we know, is also done with the company as well. So we'll see if any more releases come up. But again, WWE is shaking things up in time for the season premiere. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you next time.